Hello everybody, you're watching NDTV. The battle for Delhi has shifted to water from welfare in the run-up to Delhi polls that are just a week away now. A bitter political dispute has now erupted over the pollution in the Yamuna river, with BJP and Aam Aadmi Party trading sharp accusations. The controversy began with former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann accusing the Haryana BJP government of polluting Yamuna, claiming it could lead to a health crisis in the national capital. BJP has vehemently denied these allegations and threatened legal action, including a defamation case against Arvind Kejriwal. In fact, all 10 Haryana MPs of the state came together to demand Kejriwal's arrest, saying that his claim was a clear case of criminal conspiracy and was an attempt to create panic amongst the residents of Delhi. So are political parties just trying to shift blame onto each other with regard to Yamuna, or has water, the most important essential resource, become key to political fortunes? That's what we discussed today. We will be joined by a panel of experts, but first, here's a report.
A war of words after AAP Chief Kejriwal's comment on the Yamuna yesterday.
इसके अंदर उन्होंने ऐसा जहर मिला के भेजा है जिसका दिल्ली में जो वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट्स हैं उसमें भी उसकी सफाई नहीं हो सकती।
इस सरासर झूठे और घटिया बयान के लिए वो हरियाणा और दिल्ली की जनता से तुरंत माफी मांगे, वरना हम उसके खिलाफ मानहानि का दावा करेंगे।
While the Delhi Chief Minister wrote to the Election Commission on what she called water terrorism and an attempt by the BJP to influence the Delhi elections, the BJP too sent a delegation to the poll panel to complain about AAP's comments.
पंजाब के मुख्यमंत्री भगवंत मान जी और मेरी पूरी इलेक्शन कमीशन से चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर, बाकी जो 2 इलेक्शन कमिश्नर्स हैं, फुल कमीशन से मुलाकात हुई। दिल्ली में पानी के मुद्दे पर लंबी चर्चा हुई। हमने इलेक्शन कमीशन को बताया कि किस तरह से यमुना में पानी जो हरियाणा से आ रहा है उसमें अमोनिया का लेवल जहरीले लेवल्स तक पहुंच गया है।
A self-proclaimed anarchist can easily make such statements to agitate the minds of the public. But is this fair, or is this good for our democracy? We requested the Election Commission to take firm action, such an action that should prevent Sri Kejriwal from campaigning in Delhi anymore. And this is a kind of singularly exemplar step that the Election Commission should take. Otherwise, there is no way in which people are going to have some respect for the Election Commission.
Meanwhile, Delhi Chief Minister also rubbished the Delhi Jal Board's letter to the LG yesterday, stating that ammonia levels are always high at this time of the year.
दिल्ली जल बोर्ड की सीईओ ने भी जो चिट्ठी लिखी है वो बिल्कुल साफ साफ वो पत्र दिखा देता है कि दिल्ली के वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट्स 1 ppm 2 ppm तक का अमोनिया ट्रीट कर सकते हैं। तो पिछले कुछ दिनों से 5.5, 5.6, 5.8, 6.4, 6.8, 7.2 ये दिल्ली जल बोर्ड की सीईओ द्वारा दिए गए आंकड़े हैं।
Congress too jumped into the water wars today.
I think it's far more serious than anybody's taking. If that is the case, now either the Haryana government should be behind bars or Arvind Kejriwal and Atishi should be behind bars. In public, when you make such a serious allegation, I frankly don't know why Delhi police is quiet about it or Haryana police.
Bureau Report, NDTV.
Joining us now is Tom Vadakan of the BJP. We have Anmol Panwar of the Aam Aadmi Party. We also have Nikhil Jain, who is a political analyst. He supports the Congress Party. We also will have Neerja Chaudhary in just a short while from now. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. Anmol, to you first. 6 years ago, we all reported on stories that the Delhi government has this ambitious 200 crore plan to beautify a quarter of Yamuna stretch. You know, there was a talk about wrestling ring, recreational places, but clearly none of that really happened. And today, Arvind Kejriwal is talking about things that seem quite bizarre to residents of Delhi, that a government, a neighboring government is trying to poison the people of Delhi. How believable are these claims in a democracy? Is it just the election that's making Aam Aadmi Party say this?
Vasudha, we know that the Bharatiya Janata Party has not been in power in Delhi for last 25 years, and their inability to win elections in Delhi has led to such unethical practices. We have proof with us. Here's the DJB CEO writing a letter wherein she very categorically said in paragraph 2 that in every that the Yamuna ammonia level in Yamuna, the water treatment plants are designed in such a way that they can operate if the ammonia level in Yamuna is only 1 ppm or by max 2 ppm. But in the last 5 days, here's the data. In the last 5 days, this ammonia level has increased to 7.5. That's a staggering 700% increase just before the elections. Why is it happening? It's happening because the Haryana government is releasing industrial waste and sewage waste into the water. They are sending contaminated water. Their own treatment plants are not working, and it is a conspiracy to kill the people of Delhi because they hate the people of Delhi because they don't vote them to power. That's the reason.
Okay, you're not even calling it negligence, you don't even call it violation of safety norms. You're saying that it's a conspiracy to kill people of Delhi. It just sounds very bizarre. Let me get in Tom Vadakan here. Mr. Vadakan, is it also of concern to the BJP that the party has to keep responding to these claims being made by the Aam Aadmi Party? Because while it seems a little quite bizarre, it just looks like the Aam Aadmi Party sets a narrative and works everybody around it, including the BJP. Is that in some ways also impacting your campaign?
Oh, well, I would like to put the perspective correct. The central government spent about 8,000 crore for cleaning of the Yamuna, was given by the center. There is a letter from Shilpa Shinde, CEO of Jal Board, which is being read selectively. And you have the acting Chief Minister who talks about biological warfare, Atishi. Now, these are all anarchists who are rattled because of the situation that is prevailing at the ground level. You may show many posters, doesn't impress the people of Delhi. They have seen it all. Now, as to the question of water, why should the Chief Minister have filtration machine costing crores in his Sheesh Mahal? If he thought the Delhi water, he said, promised he could take it directly from the tap. The reality is, this river was poisoned by Aam Aadmi Party. They squandered 8,000 crore given to them. And now they come up with something as weird. I think they should engage with some psychiatrist before coming to public domain. The acting Chief Minister and her boss, they come out and say, well, the state of Haryana is poisoning. Let me give you a little background on this. The water pipes coming from Haryana.
Neerja ma'am, the election campaign clearly has moved away from welfare and women that it started with, and now we're talking about water here. Arvind Kejriwal has often blamed the BJP for all the problems that his party has been facing, but it has, in some ways electorally worked to his advantage. But how do you see the recent claims that he has made with respect to Yamuna? Because claiming that Haryana government is trying to poison the waters of Delhi or water of Delhi to basically punish people of the capital sounds bizarre, but at the same time, does it really have any political resonance?
Look, two things here. Yes, the charge seems really over the top, and the Aam Aadmi Party must come up with, to make such a serious charge against government. It must come up with more evidence. But I would say, the positive part of what we are seeing play out today, and that is the contamination of Yamuna. The big ticket issues have become central to the polls. It is not 1,000 rupees given in the hands of women. It's not, 200 units. It is much larger issues. What kind of water are our children going to be drinking? What kind of air are our children going to be breathing? Those are very, very basic things. And I'm very happy that there is this wrangle going on between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party, the Congress involved, actually debating these issues. And the people of Delhi will rightly ask, what is the truth behind this? And what is your action plan to deal with it? If you, BJP, come to power, what are you going to do? If you come back to power again, what are you going to do?
Well, that's very well said. The focus is back on the issues that need to be talked about. Nikhil Jain, how is the Congress party looking at this? Because this is, Aam Aadmi Party is the same party that the Congress aligned with just a few months ago. In fact, both of them campaigned for each other. And today, it's Congress also blaming the Aam Aadmi Party. In fact, saying that these are completely, it's actually Arvind Kejriwal who has not really worked to the interest of Yamuna.
So Vasudha, I've been saying this for long, and as has the Congress party been, that the alliance during the Lok Sabha was against the communist and fascist tendencies of the BJP, and it was essentially to arrest their re-election into power, which the alliance somewhat managed to do when the BJP could not win a single majority. But so far as the other issues are concerned, especially the state level issues, obviously there has been a fight between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress in Delhi, in Punjab, and in other parts of the country as well. And the Congress is rightly doing so, because as a Delhi resident, I've grown up in this city. I continue to live in this city, and honestly, it is becoming unbearable. The kind of issues that we're facing with the water shortages, with the transport infrastructure crumbling, with the garbage not being collected properly, and all the other issues. So it's perfectly right for the Congress to be taking a jibe at Arvind Kejriwal for this. So far as this particular issue is concerned, I feel Arvind Kejriwal is engaging in his typical style of scoot and shoot politics, that I'll make such a bizarre allegation that people are going to talk about it, drum up about it, while the real issues would not be talked about. Here I disagree with Neerja ji when she says ki thankfully that we are talking about the real issues. I'm sorry, but it doesn't look like we're talking about real issues. We're not talking about it from a public policy perspective. We're not talking about whether we should have better sewage treatment plants. What we're talking is ki kya BJP ne zahar milaya ya nahi milaya. This is very emotive. This is very irrational.
Let me get in Anmol back into this. Anmol, New Delhi as a city accounts for less than 3% of the reverse stretch, Yamuna stretch, but it's responsible for more than 70% of the pollution load. In fact, I was looking at some NGT reports, and they say that though 2% of the 1,400-kilometer long Yamuna flows between Wazirabad and Okhla, it constitutes 76% of the pollution load of the river. So what kind of industrial pollution are we talking about from Haryana when, a majority of it is coming from New Delhi? And Arvind Kejriwal himself has accepted that, cleaning up of Yamuna is something that he will be probably doing, once he comes back. This is a failed promise. So, don't you think Aam Aadmi Party should be actually, accountable for this? And by raising this issue, you're, putting back the spotlight on this failure of yours.
Vasudha ji, as per the agreement in 1993, Haryana government has the responsibility to supply water to Delhi. And we have also approached the Election Commission. Our Delhi Chief Minister Atishi ji today went to the Election Commission, and they have asked to form a committee. The Election Commission should comprise a committee of engineers from Delhi as well as Haryana and the members of Election Commission to verify our claims, because we have given an evidence, and this letter by Shilpa Shinde, it itself proves that we were right when she said that the STPs can work only till 2 ppm, while at present the ammonia levels is at 7.5 ppm. And here's a video showing the exact place.
पानीपत में ये मेरे ठीक पीछे जो आप देख रहे हैं इतना चौड़ा नाला, और इसमें सैकड़ों हजारों क्यूसेक पानी बह करके आता है. ये सारा इंडस्ट्रियल वेस्ट है. 400 इंडस्ट्रियल यूनिट जो डाइंग यूनिट यहाँ पर लगी हुई है पानीपत के अंदर, उनका सारा का सारा वाटर वेस्ट बह करके यहाँ पे आता है. कोई रोक नहीं, कोई एसटीपी नहीं यहाँ पे काम कर रहा है. ये पूरी तरह से खुला दरबार है और ये सीधा आके यहाँ यमुना में मिल जाता है.
Okay, Tom Padakan, would you like to respond to that, sir?
And because we didn't expect BJP to stoop to
let him
such
finish.
low
I'll come
level
back to you. Yeah.
just to win elections.
Okay. Tom
Okay.
Padakan, what would you have to say that? See, I mean, do you see this as a failure of the Aam Aadmi Party, one way of, covering up, one way of distracting attention? And also, the centre could have also probably brought in more regulatory compliances, for that matter, made these rules stringent, isn't it, sir, without really putting the blame on, the Aam Aadmi Party completely?
There is something called a National Green Tribunal directives, which the Haryana government is following. Now here, there is about 37 filtration outlets working, supposed to be 37 water treatment plants, okay, out of which only 17 are functional. I repeat, only 17 are functional. Then Shilpa Shinde, the CEO of Jal Board, has been selectively quoted. She goes on to say that even higher concentrations such as 6.5 ppm can be diluted with water from the carrier-lined channels and Delhi sub-branch. They have politely refused to read that part of the sentence. And she has said very categorically that the entire thing is misdirected and this is intended to create rift between two states. And this borders on sedition. I'm careful in my selection of words. Whatever action the central government deems fit should be taken, because half of Haryana is also settled in Delhi.
Mr. Padakan, answer this one question of mine. Could the centre have helped, clean up Yamuna River by implementing stricter pollution control measures, something that we keep talking about, something that even Neerja ma'am has pointed out? They could, centre could have had stricter pollution control measures, and this is what is also contributing to the river's pollution. You could have maybe looked at funding, overseeing the construction of treatment plants, also regulating industrial waste discharge. I know the government has also sent out notices to Haryana, but clearly getting the states to work together could have also been something that the centre could have done, isn't it?
Vasudha, 8,000 crore is not small money. They need to tell us, with this kind of money, was it Shishmail funded? Were they funding Shishmail? Or was it really used for cleaning up the river? And this man, the former chief minister, has gone in record saying that he has not been able to do his task. What more ambition do we want? Of course, I agree with you. Steps can be taken, but the centre cannot overstep into areas and they will say this is interference in their affairs. You can do the funding, but these crooks have been embezzling the money. I'm blunt on television today. And they say Haryana is poisoning. Half of Haryana stays in Delhi. Do you think people in Haryana would poison their own people in Delhi? They need to have a psychiatric counselling before they come into public domain. Earlier, when Punjab police was withdrawn, they said they're trying to kill him. Now he's saying that, well, they're trying to commit genocide in Delhi. What kind of a party is this?
Okay.
I mean, the people of India, Delhi have woken up, and people of India are watching you very closely, whatever your national ambitions may be.
Neerja ma'am, if we have to talk about the politicking or political signature style of Arvind Kejriwal, what is the difference that you witnessed this time? Because we've all seen him as someone, who is, someone known for his agitation, someone who's, who would always protest, but someone who's also, welfare-centered. Do you think that this time with his campaign that also showed in some ways this preparedness? Aam Aadmi Party was also the first to come out with its list of candidates. They announced a lot of welfare schemes for every section of society, from priests to granthis to, whole lot of them. What is the signature difference that you find in his political approach this time? And also this language of extremes is not unusual for Arvind Kejriwal. Do you think this time he has actually taken it a bit too far?
I think the stakes are very high for Arvind Kejriwal. This election, the stakes are high, of course, for every party. And suppose, hypothetically speaking, BJP wins, it's a feather in their cap. But suppose it loses Delhi, it's not going to make too much of a difference to its prospects in other states or its standing at the moment in national life. But if Kejriwal loses, then it becomes an existentialist crisis for the Aam Aadmi Party, because Kejriwal, even with just 40 seats, just over the majority, is going to be a sitting duck for the BJP to get at his party, to whether it's going to erode, whether it's going to splinter. All these are question marks for the future. So the stakes are very, very high for Kejriwal. As for the Congress, I don't know how much, it's a player. It's a player insofar as it will cut into the votes of Kejriwal, essentially. So the face-off and the fight really is between the BJP, which is better placed this time. And essentially what's happened is that the poorer sections of Delhi, those who reside in the Jhuggi Jhopris, they remain with Kejriwal. When you talk to them, they still have faith in him. But the middle class is moving away. They talk about change 10 years down the line. They want much more than what has been forthcoming. And a little bit of the sheen has gone off. It's not going to be 67 or 62 seats. Nobody is talking in those terms.
Right.
What they're talking about is really get past the line, the rekha, which the majority figure, or will he not get past that? Okay. So I think, given that, but just one last word I want to say about issues like pollution or cleaning the river. It simply cannot happen unless the center cooperates with the state. It cannot happen. And the center could have, I agree with this, the center could have taken the initiative to get the neighboring states on board, because there are certain issues which are larger than, elections. Absolutely. And these, as I said earlier, these are basic issues. Clean air, clean water. What more can, that is a very, very, very fundamental right.
Right. Anmol Panwar, in this whole quest for political power, by creating these confrontations with LG, with the centre, has the Aam Aadmi Party not worked in the interest of people of Delhi? Because clearly, if you had a non-confrontational relationship with the centre, some of these problems could have, been solved. And now there's this whole web of technicalities as to how much of the water in Delhi has been poisoned. Is the Aam Aadmi Party also trying to, in some ways, create a sense of panic and fear?
Vasudha ji, we don't believe in confrontations. Our focus is the welfare of the people of Delhi. That is why we have worked for the last 10 years, whether it's education, whether it's healthcare, whether it's free rides for women, free pilgrimage for senior citizens. Our focus has always been that how can we transform Delhi into a cleaner, greener and better city. And that is what we have promised for the next 5 years. We have laid down the blueprint, the foundation of a dedicated government for the next 5 years. And your second question, I can't recall, what's your second question?
I was asking you, are you also in some ways trying to create fear amongst people of Delhi, because your support base will actually react to whatever Arvind Kejriwal says? Is that also a reason why you are also reaching out to middle class with a specific manifesto? Because you're not really sure of your support base this time because of these allegations of corruption.
No. So, firstly, we are trying to save the life of people of Delhi. Here's the proof which I have already shown you. It exposes the claims of Bharatiya Janata Party, the document on which they themselves are relying upon. Secondly, we have worked for the welfare of every section of society, whether it's poor class, whether it's middle class, whether it's upper class. Middle class, we know, is a victim of tax terrorism in our country. On one hand, we have Aam Aadmi Party's Arvind Kejriwal model, which focuses on the welfare of Aam Aadmi. And on the other hand, we have Bharatiya Janata Party's Punjipati model, wherein they waive off loans tuning to 16 lakh crores. They slash the corporate tax from 30% to 22%. Why don't they waive the farmer loans? Why don't they waive the loans of middle class? Okay, I mean, we are providing them electricity, free electricity. We are providing them free education.
Yes. Nikhil, considering that everyone is either talking about Aam Aadmi Party or BJP and the Congress's campaign is not really even talked about, is that a concern for the Congress party? And also the fact that Rahul Gandhi himself has not really campaigned that much. Today was probably the second day that he campaigned. Many of his rallies have been cancelled. Does that also reflect that the Congress party, when it comes to assembly elections, is not really aggressive enough?
Vasudha, first of all, I wanted to make a point on the ammonia levels in the water. Your viewers are free to Google about it. Ammonia levels have been rising beyond 2, 3, 4, and 5, and even going up to 7 since the past 4 years, while the acceptable levels are 1. And that is the treatment capacity of the Wazirabad treatment plant, where the water is taken from the Yamuna for Delhi's drinking purposes. So both the parties, the BJP and the Haryana government, which is continuing to release such level of effluents that the levels go above 4, while the Aam Aadmi Party not accounting for it and not putting up the appropriate sewage treatment plants, are at fault for giving this poisonous water to the people of Delhi. So far as the Congress's campaign is concerned, I'm sorry, but the Congress is facing a rather stepmotherly treatment at the hands of the media. When I look around and go on the streets, I do hear Congress people going around. I do see Congress banners. I do see a manifesto that the Congress released, the song that the Congress released, and the Congress is actually fighting on the ground. And to be very honest, they're doing a real job of fighting, unlike 2020 or 2015. But somehow the media is simply not talking about it. The Aam Aadmi Party was among the first to release its list of candidates. It was among the first. Sorry, the Congress was among the first to release a list of candidates, initial candidates, and its manifesto, but simply nobody is talking about it. But when the voters actually go to the polling booths, they would remember the campaign of the Congress. They would remember the Congress worker knocking on their doorstep and promising them the various promises that the Congress has made. So I don't think it's the Congress is sitting outside the stadium. It's just that somehow the cameraman is not panning towards the Congress.
Okay. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. The controversy over former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's remarks on Yamuna has picked up a lot of steam, but we'll have to wait and see if water finds resonance amongst the voters of Delhi.